Hello everybody, this is Dr. Ishwari. Today's session I am going to give the explanations on the cost of equity capital. For determining the cost of equity capital, we can use CAPM method. The method is Capital Asset Pricing Model Approach method. So before going to explain CAPM method, I want to give some assumptions. So without that assumptions, we can't do anything. So the first assumption is every investors are in homogeneous expectations. Means every investors are thinking in the same manner. If one investor expecting today our share market value will be increased. So again all the investors also thinking like that. So if I am expecting today value will be decreased, so remaining investors also expecting like that. So means the correlation will be in a positive manner. So always it will be in a increasing. In case if it may decreasing, always it will be in a decreasing trend. So every investors are having the positive correlations. And no restrictions on investments. Here we are not having any restrictions. We can invest in any company, in any amount, how much, a huge amount also we can be invest in the companies. And for investment, there is no taxes, there is no transaction cost, no single investor can affect the market price. Yes. If I had to exit from that stock market, my value should not be affecting on the stock indices. If 10 people are exiting in that, it should not be impacting on the stock index value. So, no single investor or no single buyer or the seller, it should not be impacting on the stock market. Okay. So, coming to the formula, how I design this formula. Before going to explain this formula, we need to discuss the risk. Here, risk will be two types. One is systematic, another one is unsystematic. So, what is the systematic? Systematic value should not be changed. It will be constant. Unsystematic value can be changed. So, what are the factors will be impacting on the systematic risk? That is, economy value, inflation value, taxes, government policies, monsoons, agriculture, and foreign institutional investors, foreign direct investments. These are all not in our hand. They can't be controlled. It will be depending on the situation. So that's why here we should not expect when the value will be increased, when the value will be reduced. We can't be expect. So that's why. So this is a systematic risk. So for the systematic risk, I had to use the notation beta. Beta always equal to 1. According to my assumption, beta equal to 1. So in case if the value will be increased, means 1.5, means here 0.5% means 5% of the risk will be increased. In case if the value will be 0.75, what is the meaning of that? You are in the safe zone because systematic risk is very low. So based on that we can be understand how much of the risk on that investment, means the company or whatever it may be. And coming to the unsystematic risk, this is in our hand. So we can be expect how much of the risk will be increased, how much of the risk will be reduced. We can easily expect. So what are the factors will be impacting on that? So in case if any company are having the personal management problems, means they are having some issues in the organization, they can easily rectify that problems. And problems in that R&D department may not be work in a proper manner. We can rectify that and reducing the sale value. We can improve the sale value also. And single product we are producing. So customer expectations will be changed. We need to change the product, mix up the products also. We need to introduce the different type of the products. So these are all in our hand. And financial problems, we can enhance the finance also. So these are all in our hand. We can easily control. So that's why unsystematic can be determined with the notation of EI. So total risk it can be determined beta plus EI value. So this is the systematic, this is the unsystematic. So this is the total risk. So this is the way we can determine the risk. So why we need to discuss about that risk? We are going to invest the value into that market. So that's why we need to be consider the risk. So which type of risk we are going to take? Systematic risk we are going to take. So what is the systematic risk? There is a beta value. So how much of the beta value we are expecting here? According to our assumption, always beta equal to 1. If the 1 value will be increased, that is the meaning the risk will be increased. If the 1 value will be reduced, that is the meaning the risk will be reduced. So according to the assumptions we are going to follow, we are going to design the formula. Okay. So how we can determine the cost of equity? Cost of equity equal to RF plus beta into RM minus RF. So this value also can be called as risk premium. It can be called it as risk premium. RF is the risk-free rate of return. Why we have to design the formula like this way? So for example, I am having 10,000 rupees in my hand. If I had to invest the total amount in that bank, this is the debt value. How much of the return I will get? The fixed rate of interest I will receive in the future. If I had to invest the value in that market, here there is no guarantee. The value will be volatile. It will be fluctuate. We can't be predict how much of the value we can be receiving in the future. We can't be predict. So that's why my amount is going to diversify into two ways. That is, one is for lending, another one is for borrowing. So based on that method, I am going to invest. So that is some percentage of the amount is going to invest into the bank. So which type of the amount we are going to receive here? Some fixed rate of interest we are going to receive in that future. So that's why here I had to use the notation RF. RF is the risk-free rate of interest. Here there is no risk. Even the market is going to volatile. Whatever it may be, what are the major consequences will come into the market, what are the disasters come into the market or whatever it may be, the fixed rate of interest remains unchanged. It will be constant. So that's why RF value always be constant. RF plus and rest of the balance is that. So some part of the amount investing in that bank and rest of the balance is going to invest into the companies. So here the company value is going to be diversified into the different companies. Why? Because we are going to diversify the value into the different companies. If I had to invest the total amount into the single company, what it will be happen in the future? If it may have any losses, the value will be reduced. So that's why we need to be diversify 80% of the amount into the different companies. Why we need to be diversified? In case if the company will getting the loss, this loss will be compensated by the remaining profitable companies. So based on that reason, we need to be diversify the value into the different companies. So this is the method we are going to be diversified. Okay, 20% of the amount invest into the bank and remaining 80% of the amount investing into the company. So that is called as the RM, return on market, or we can use RP, return on portfolio, or whatever it may be, any notation we can use it. Here I write RM value, RM. So you can take RM. Return on market, RF is the risk-free rate of interest. Any risk you should not be considered here. Why? Because this is the risk-free. There is no risk here. So that's why RF plus and remaining value is there. That is for 80%. So that is the RM. That's why we need to be consider the beta value. So there is a risk. So this is the risky return. Return on market. We are having some risk. So that's why we need to be calculate the value into with the beta value. So we need to be calculate the risk premium. How we can calculate the risk premium RM minus RF. So that is the risk premium value, risk premium into beta. So this is the formula we can be designed for calculating the cost of equity. We can easily understand cost of equity equal to risk-free rate of interest plus return on market. Risk-free rate of interest, for that risk-free rate of interest, no need to consider any beta values. For that return on market, we need to be calculate with the beta RM minus RF. So this is the formula. Let's come to the illustration. ABC Company Limited wishes to calculate its cost of equity capital using CAPM method. So based on the CAPM method, they are going to calculate the cost of equity when risk-free rate of interest is 10% and market risk is 1.50 and return on market equals to 12.5%. So based on the illustrations, we are going to apply the values into the formula that equal to KE equal to, what is the RF here? 10%, that is the risk-free rate of interest, and we need to be calculate the risk premium. How we can calculate the risk premium? RM minus RF. So what is the RM value here? That is 12.5%. 12.5% minus risk-free rate of interest 10%. This is the risk premium value 2.5%. 2.5% into, we need to be calculate with the beta value. So this value need to be calculated with beta value, that is 1.5. So first we have to be calculate 2.5 into 1.5 plus 10%, that equal to 13.75. 13.75 is the cost of equity. So this is the one of the method to determine the cost of equity. Thank you.